deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse.
So we're back.
We're back.
Where were we before? I'm just joking. Well, actually, we are back. We're at the Independent in Tampa, Florida.
Which we've been to a couple times.
I think we've only done one podcast here.
I think two.
The Black Bear episode?
I think we did too. I think we did another one here as well.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I know Black Bear is what we did with Aubrey Plaza.
But it's one of our favorite places because the food's good, the beers are typically good. It's a local place near our house. And
I'm
that's what we're
drinking
feeling
this.
tonight.
I'm drinking this tasty craft beverage. It's called
Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola, I think it's called, in the can.
Original taste. Delicious and refreshing.
I had a sour earlier. Yeah, that we had some dinner here at the Independent. You have a sour from a can, too.
I have a sour from the Prairie Artisanales.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Punch.
Okay. It looks like punch, like a dark punch.
It's like fruit punch.
So we're here. We had to grab a dinner and a drink on a Friday night because we're doing something a little different. We didn't see a movie the night before.
No,
We've been watching a TV series. We're halfway through. We want to get some dinner, talk about the halfway point, and then get back home and watch the last 3 episodes. And then do a part 2 to this episode.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to see a series, except this series we've been wanting to keep watching, and we had to pause it to do the halfway mark, which has been difficult.
So as the title of the episode is Midnight Mass, a Netflix show.
Yeah.
Directed by Mike Flanagan,
Yes.
who did a movie you don't remember seeing, another Netflix movie, Gerald's Game.
Yeah, I just looked at the thing, and I don't remember seeing that together, but
We watched it, but it was a forgettable, one-time watch Netflix movie.
the concept of it reminded me of Megan Fox movie.
The other Dead Husband movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tied to a Bed.
Which we did an episode on that one,
Yeah.
but we can't remember what that movie's called. The
Megan Fox Tied to a Bed,
Yeah.
Dead Husband in the Ice movie.
So we did that. But no, Midnight Mass is this Netflix series that's seemingly about this religious
Community.
with this island and a stand-in Catholic priest because the other priest is sick. And but some weird things start happening. First, miracles start happening on the island, and then more sinister things start happening. Right?
Right, but
I don't think we need to go in a big
No.
plot summary.
We don't need to go in a big plot summary. But I want to tell you my feelings.
Yeah, that's what I thought we could do for this in a second. We're going to do part 1, just episodes 1 through 4 of Midnight Mass. No major spoilers, though part 4 is when they start.
I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, what happens.
I know, we're not going to
in
break
one.
it down, but I'm
Okay.
saying by episode 4,
What's happening?
it changes.
Okay,
They kind of laid some cards on the table.
right.
And then I think we talk about what we like about it and what we don't like about it so far.
Mm-hmm.
Our feelings. Maybe I have a prediction we've talked a little bit about
Some
of
predictions.
how I think it's going to
That's what's
end.
good about being a series. 'cause
And then we're
we
going
can
to
do
go home
predictions.
and watch the next 3 episodes. And then,
Oh, not all at once.
well, we're going to, between now and the next episode of this,
Yeah.
part
Between the
2.
next episode, but not tonight.
we'll see how far we get. I don't know. The night's young. It's only
It's not
9 p.m.
happening. tomorrow we could lay in bed all day
We'll
and
see.
watch 3 episodes.
So anyway, though this isn't quite the night before.
You don't even want to talk about that.
No, we don't watch this is the night before podcast.
Oh.
It's
okay.
not necessarily a movie we watched the night before.
Right.
But for October and Halloween, we wanted to kind of watch something a little more spooky. But instead of watching one movie, we said, Midnight Mass, I said my first thing. Midnight Mass is like a long movie.
It is.
Feels like a movie.
You want to keep watching it.
In fact, one of the reasons I wanted to watch it was someone on Twitter posted, can I call Midnight Mass my favorite horror movie of
And you
the year?
showed the trailer, and I was intrigued right away. However, I wasn't like. We watched like 3 different trailers of things, but
Yeah.
this is the only series trailer we watched.
Well, no, Squid Games was the other trailer.
Oh,
but
yeah.
with
And that's
with 111 million people watching
so
Squid Games,
popular.
we got to pause on that
We'll
one.
watch it.
Though it's
we'll
in
watch
Korean, which we celebrate
It's
Korean cinema.
Hunger Games, Korean Hunger Games, basically.
No, more like Battle Royale, but yeah.
I don't know what Battle
I
Royale
know.
is.
That's
but-
all right. So, let's just jump in.
Okay.
Because I think the plot is simple for Midnight Mass. Well, it seems. I wasn't intrigued by the trailer either. It seemed like, oh, it's going to be like a slow, creepy, like haunting, like religious movie.
No, I said I was intrigued.
Oh, I'm
by
saying
the
I
trailer.
wasn't intrigued. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
I wasn't thrilled about it because I thought it would be a little too
But
slow.
I wasn't more intrigued than the movies we watched, is what I was saying.
Oh. But I'm happy. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
Overall impressions, episodes 1 through 4.
I have some issues
I really,
with it,
really
but
like
I like
it.
it.
So let's start this. What is something you like about Midnight Mass in the first 4 episodes?
Okay. Something I like as a non-horror movie fan.
Can I pause and say that's what's also for those who haven't watched it, because it's not major spoilers. For us, this episode's more teasers. At least in the first 3 episodes, I'm going to say this. Describing it as a horror series is for lack of a better term.
Well, you just stole my thought.
All right, so what's your thing you like?
I like the fact that I had this like heartwarming feeling about it. I was kind of like mysterious in the beginning, and then it leads to kind of this like, oh my God, these wonderful things are happening, and these people are happy, and these great things are happening, and this town is kind of like coming together, and that was kind of like
Because
uplifting.
the town
and
has been like hit on hard times over the last
they've been hit on
decade.
hard times. They have people with struggles. The main character has some struggles with an accident he was in and
Well, the main character's there
PTSD,
because
basically.
he is back home
Mhm.
after serving time in jail for like vehicular homicide, drunk driving, kill somebody.
DUI,
Yeah.
vehicular homicide.
So he's on the path
So
of
we have
redemption.
that. We have like a crippled girl who's been shot by someone in the community. That's an issue.
A hunting accident, which is also alcohol and drinking related.
Yep.
Mhm.
And we have another character who I really like. It's a woman who kind of like left, came back.
She's the school
She's
teacher.
pregnant, out of wedlock.
She had her wanderlust, searching for herself, left the island, has come back.
And we have the intriguing doctor who's a lesbian. They tell you that early on. Semi early on, taking care of her like bedridden mother.
Yep.
So I like that these good things start happening with the entrance of this mysterious new priest and the exit of the old priest. And that was a loud truck. We're not sure why, the community is not 100% sure why the other priest isn't there, except for the fact that he is having some health issues and he's on the mainland.
Mm-hmm.
And so this new priest kind of takes over, and these kind of miraculous things start happening in the community, and it's uplifting. It feels good. And
By sort of the hand
I
of
like
the
that.
priest.
I personally love the uplifting feel of that.
No, it's true. Miracles start
And
happening.
I knew it was semi-horror movie, so I knew it was going to come to an end, but I didn't want that to come to an end.
Well, these miracles are happening, and that's what I think one of the things I like about it is the guy who plays the priest, Father Peter, I think his name, or Father John, Father Paul, played by Hamish Linkletter. He's like perfect because, oh, we just had a dog escape. We're at the
We're at a
Independent
bar
outside.
restaurant. People bring their dogs.
Someone's dog just like ran for another dog.
There's dog chaos right
You'll hear
now.
the barking maybe. But anyway, the father, what did I say his name was? Father Paul by Hamish Linkletter, the actor. Though these miracles are happening, one of the things I love about it is you like the priest, the young new priest. He's charismatic. He tells like inspiring sermons. He's passionate, but he's also a little like confused a bit. You can tell he's like struggling with something. You can't tell if he's hiding something, if he's sinister. That even though these miracles are happening, we get the sense that he's a bit of an imposter.
Yes.
But at the same time, all these good things start happening. And you're like, well, if he was an imposter, why would all these good things happen? But his like facial expressions, his nervous sort of talking patterns, he's like, it's played to a T. He's much better than the main actor, Zach Gilford, who plays Riley, the guy who's come back home after the drunk driving homicide. He's just this sort of like sad,
aloof,
emo guy.
Of his emo.
No, it's his action, his behavior is like he's all like down on himself. He's not terrible.
No.
But he's the quote like star.
Yeah.
But it's the priest who's really, really good.
He's really good.
But I like that they couple with the miracles with something ain't right. But the more you get to know the priest,
you kind of like him.
The more you trust him more and more. And even by the end of our episode 4,
as the audience as well as the people in the congregation or the community.
Well, the church starts growing because of the miracles.
So that's really a parallel.
He seems to be helping and he genuinely cares about everyone on the island.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, and that's what the trailer and even like the image like presents, that he's like this evil guy. And he's not. He's not the evil priest.
No.
But that would be the easy route to go.
That's what I was expecting, which
That's
is
what
why
I mean.
I was pleasantly surprised about like the uplifting nature of the first couple episodes.
And even by like episode 3 or 4, he does this confession, and you know the true story about him.
You start figuring out the true
and you
story.
realize he is genuine.
He's still genuinely there for the right reasons.
Yeah. So that's something that's good about it.
But
What's something else that's good?
what did you like most about it?
Well, I think I like him. The other thing I like is in episode 1, I like all the cat's eyeballs, the reflections in the eyes. Well, it's sort of like, I feel this show, even though it's nothing like the show Lost, the first few episodes make you feel like Lost a little bit. Because there's slightly weird things that they don't overly explain.
On the island.
On the island, right?
The island's weird, too.
And so you think with these miracles, like, oh, that's kind of like Lost, right? Remember Locke in Lost could walk after being in a wheelchair. And we have a character in here who's in a wheelchair who later starts walking, right?
But we were talking about the island in general. Like,
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying in Lost, you had these miracles unexplained that happen. And then you also have these weird cat eyes, like the weird things in the darkness, just like in the show Lost.
Yeah.
Though this show talks about them a bit more. They talk about why there's all these cats in this part of the island. Hundreds of them. But it's just funny. There's like one scene in the first episode where these kids are talking, these high school kids. And in the background, the whole time you just hear like cats scuffling and fighting and their eyeballs and the like reflection of the eyes. And then there's little spook scares here and there. There's like a shadowy figure in the distance too. And then later on in that same episode, all the cats end up dead.
Right.
So it's these neat little island mysteries. Now that starts to go away after the first few episodes, but I do like that at the beginning.
Yeah, I think the cat eyes were slightly distracting.
Well, no, when it was distracting.
Supernatural.
But I
But
don't
it
know.
made it know that this is a supernatural movie.
I don't know if I would say supernatural. I would say it was like distracting, and even like not the best use of CGI either. It's like distracting in the fact that it looked obviously fake.
So fair.
Yeah, yeah.
But it made you say, like, oh, wait, this isn't just like a feel good coming of age movie. It's a kind of a supernatural,
Well, there's something
something
up.
creepy's
Something's
going to
up.
happen movie.
But speaking of fake, I think there was one other sort of made even much more distracting than that from the beginning of the first episode. And that is what I like affectionately refer to as the Mandy Moore effect from This Is Us.
I do hate that term because I love This Is Us.
You only hate it because you
I
defend
am
This
going
Is Us.
to give a shout out to This Is Us. It's one of my favorite shows ever. But because I think it's acceptable on This Is Us because we're jumping in between present and past, and it's her being older or younger. But in this movie, you don't know the concept of it yet. But in the first, second, third, even episode, you
It's
have
in the
all
first
these
episode.
people with old makeup on.
I mean, it's not
and
super
it's
old.
obvious.
It's aged. They look aged.
Well, it's obvious.
Yeah, they don't look like old people. And that's the same problem. You can defend This Is Us if you want. It still looks weird whenever they have younger actors try to look like they're 30 or plus 40 years older.
It looks weird, but in This Is Us, you get it.
No, but it's still distracting, even though you get it. Same thing in this show. You get it pretty quick while it's happening, but it's still distracting.
True.
Like, speaking
No,
of,
it's very distracting in this
like,
show.
you look the way people, like, their bodies are, the way their eyes look. It's just a hard thing to achieve.
It is.
And in this show, because, yes, they introduce characters that way, you're spending the first episode kind of guessing
Deciding
or
what's the point of
hypothesizing,
this?
like, why are these people
Old
made to
people
look
makeup.
slightly older? Not super older, but just like slightly older. The
Not super old, but-
doctor's mother might be the only exception.
She looks super old. The mother of the main character looks older than
Yeah,
she
she looks
should.
older. She doesn't look super old. I'm not
But
saying.
she has old makeup on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. They look, and again, it's not like the highest budget show, so you also can say, well, it's because that's just what you're working with. But because of it, I think it tips the hand of the show a little too early. Like,
Yes,
you
I
spend
agree.
the first episode already figuring out what they're going to reveal to you 2 episodes later.
Absolutely.
And
Definitely.
though there's still surprises, I feel, in the show, that surprise of that the actors or some of the characters on the island are actually becoming younger,
It's not a surprise.
it's not a surprise. And it puts you on the detective trail as a viewer, I would think maybe sooner than you need to be. It would have been nice to just simply watch the first episode and just get to know this
the
place.
characters. And the characters.
Yeah.
Without wondering why they didn't just pick
But
older
again, I know it's
characters.
tough to do unless you have a super high budget to make it not noticeable.
True.
But we learn it's because they're taking communion and the communion is making them younger.
Right. They don't realize it.
Well, it's also, that's the subtle, like, that's the thing. And that's why it's a little bit of a bummer as a watching it, because the people in the town aren't really noticing it.
Right.
It's the same thing when, like, a person's losing weight. If you see them every day,
You don't really notice.
you don't really notice them losing weight. So they're seeing each other every day, so they're not noticing people getting younger.
Yeah.
So, that's that. But so it is distracting. You do learn people are aging backwards, and I think it tips the hand much too soon because I had it figured out before they told us. I feel way before they told us that the young new priest is actually
The old
the
priest
old sickly priest who's missing because he's been aged backwards to young
that was able to figure out way sooner than you should have been able to
because
figure
of
it
bad
out.
makeup.
Yeah, because of bad makeup.
And that's just the thing. Like I said, it's not a deal breaker for the show. It's just one of those things where you're like, for a show that's so, I think, well presented and put together,
It's odd that that's not.
I mean, it's just unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think it's a reality that you're stuck with. I don't think there's any way to truly make it not that noticeable. You know?
Unless you just use different actors.
But you can't, I don't think you can use something that drastically because you're having, say, a 40-year-old playing a 60-year-old.
Yeah.
You can't replace, because then you also need that subtle change.
True.
You can't, we're not talking they're aging 50 years backwards. They're aging,
And it's a budget thing too.
but
to
they're
have that
aging,
many-
they're aging 10 or 15 years backwards.
Yeah. That's true.
So you can't put in another actor for that. It doesn't make
That's true.
sense.
That's true. But there were, besides that, we talked about the island.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Besides that, I really liked a lot of things, except I really liked the main actor. You didn't like him as much as the priest.
No, we talked
but-
about Riley.
And I really liked
But he's
the,
another thing. Speaking of age, again, I feel like it's a show I really, really like. It's just one of those things where
Oh,
there's
yeah.
few things that are kind of,
out of place.
it's just the little things that take you out of it. The fact that the main actor, Riley, is also figuring out, even though he doesn't have any old makeup on, because he's not taking communion. It's
He looks like he's about 30.
mid to late 30s.
Yeah, mid.
He has gray hair,
He looks older.
and he has a younger brother who's like 15.
Yeah.
So at minimum, he looks like 20
And
years
he
older than his
goes back
brother.
and sleeps in his room that's still his room.
Well, yeah, from high school, yeah.
I know,
Well, I mean,
but
that's
what parent keeps their kid's room from...
no, I know. I mean,
he was in jail. So
yeah,
that's-
that doesn't. I get that. I mean, the show is presented a little bit
See,
of like.
that bothers me in the fact that, like, that's not realistic. That you still have your 29-year-old's room.
Yeah, well, I
set
think
up
that didn't bother me.
completely.
Yeah, because it's presenting a town and an island that nothing has grown or changed or moved on since he's left. Like, the town has actually gone down in things. Like, more people have left. I didn't have a problem with that. It seems like that just shows life has stopped
Right.
since he left. But it is just odd in the fact that he looks
35.
old, older than he should be. I mean, he's close in age to the actors that are playing his parents
Yes, definitely.
in real life. And like, yeah, but then it's like you're trying to date, like when is all this is happening? And in his bedroom, his high school bedroom, he has like the movie Scream poster on his wall, the movie Seven. I guess he could have been at home in college, I guess, and like going to the mainland while he's in college. But still, it's just still an odd choice.
Yeah.
Like his age. And I get it, you got to find the best actor for the role maybe, but that's just yet another minor little, these are all the things you notice in like the first episode or two. But I guess, it feeds into like, what is this show? What is this mystery? And some of it are just the limitations of the production.
And the love interest between him and Aaron.
Yeah. Like Kate
Yeah.
Siegel.
It's so, like, aggravating and slow.
Well, it's nice, I guess, that they don't instantly just like connect and are in love.
I know, but at the same time, it feels a little, like, slow to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, but he's like not in a place, he's consumed with his own things. He's still carrying around the guilt
True.
of his actions. She's carrying a child, at least up until like episode
Well,
4.
that's true. Then she's grieving, so
Yeah.
that's understandable.
So,
But that's going to develop, except
well, what is
when
this?
we get to episode 4.
Well, what I was going to say around episode 4 is we do learn, which I like, speaking of like the aging backwards and people are aging backwards because they're taking communion. What I like is that we learn that the reason the priest has aged backwards and is all young again is because when he was gone on a sabbatical trip to the Holy Land, he got lost in the desert. He ended up in a cave in the middle of nowhere and stumbles upon what perceives as an angel.
Right. And he brings this intense experience happens. He emerges out of the cave
Well,
as
he gets attacked by the angel,
yeah,
which is reality.
he sucks his blood.
We know as viewers that it's a vampire
Yeah.
demon thing. Sucks his blood and then
And
makes him young again.
he emerges out of the cave as the priest that's now running the island church.
Yeah.
Like his young version of himself.
We get a flashback, a confession by the priest, which I like. It's one of those classic, like, oh, we're going to do a flashback episode where the priest is giving a confession and he reveals to us that he is the older priest and that he has brought back this angel to the island
So he brings back the angel.
to save everybody.
That's in quotes.
Yeah.
Angel.
Well, we're saying from his perspective.
Yeah, from his perspective.
It's what he believes.
To the island. And he's really not guilty of any evil because he thinks he's brought an angel back to the island.
That's one of the things I like about the twist at episode 4 is it says it confirms your thoughts that the priest is good. If you're back and forth, is he evil? Is he good? Is he hiding something? Is he sinister? It kind of lets you know that, yes, he's hiding something. He feels bad that he's hiding his true identity to everybody, that it's a sin. But he feels like he's bringing salvation to the island. And he's been feeding everybody the blood of this vampire during communion because that's kind of what the vampire angel told him to do.
Right.
So I thought that's awesome. Like, he's thinking he's bringing salvation, but he's actually bringing damnation.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I think it's really good. I love it. I'm in 100%.
And so now we're at a point, right, where, and like the show, like, it's good. Thematically, it deals with a lot of guilt. You know, we have the main character.
A lot of AA stuff.
The main character struggling with his past life and addiction and the guilt of killing this person. The person who put a girl in a wheelchair, he's struggling with his addiction and his alcoholism and his forgiveness. So this idea of a vampire who has eternal life, this idea of this being, right, that lives forever for hundreds of years is intriguing, right? Because you're kind of stuck with that. All you want to do is be free of that guilt. And also just the parallel between like getting communion and like the gift of everlasting life, as they say in the Eucharist, the Catholic Eucharist. He's giving them the blood of a vampire, which is in essence giving people
Death.
No, eternal life.
Well, yeah, he's giving them an eternal life, but he's spreading evil.
Yeah, but he's not giving them death. He's letting them live on longer.
Yeah, yes.
Like it's the parallel between everlasting life, the point of the Eucharist, and the same thing is happening, but it's with vampire blood.
True. That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I know.
But he's also bringing evil and death to the island.
Yes, he is
He's giving everlasting life, but he's bringing evil and death to the island.
No, I know, not. Yeah, I'm not saying, but I'm saying the parallel
Yeah,
of
no,
what
I get.
that
Yeah,
is.
I get that.
Of
Yeah.
the symbolic nature of communion.
I feel like this movie is so serious.
Of course it is.
So serious.
Yeah.
It's very serious.
I mean, it's about. Yeah, I mean, it's not a comedy.
No. I know. It's just like so technical and serious.
But I mean, that's why I think it's good. That's why we're talking about it, because it's not just as I said, for lack of a better term, it's a horror show, but
Yeah,
it's really not.
And the good thing about it is they have these long, where people talk for a really long time,
Like monologues.
monologues.
Mm-hmm.
But then all of a sudden it changes like pace. Like you discover something completely new about it. Like you'll just kind of be sitting in this dialogue, this monologue for a long time, and then all of a sudden it switches to something completely that you didn't expect to happen.
Well, it has the action. It's trying hard to give depth to the characters and their struggles, so you really understand. But the problem is, you're like, yeah, I got it 10 minutes ago when you were talking about it. Still,
Yeah,
like you
it's
can
true.
wrap it up. There's a lot of repetition in their thoughts, but in other words, it's good and gets it there. Um, and where we ended, I like it, is our main character Riley gets attacked
By the vampire.
by the vampire when it's refilling the chalice of communion,
I
blood,
was
wine.
shocked by that.
I don't know
I
if I
was
would say I was
shocked that
shocked.
no, I mean I was
I was
shocked at
pleased.
episode 4 that our main character got turned in like attacked by the vampire.
Yeah, we don't know what's happened to him, but I was pleased that it happened. Like, for the sake of the show. Like, okay, I didn't see that happening, but I'm glad it did.
Because we went from like the town drunk to getting attacked. Like,
The town
okay,
drunk
no
died.
one really cares about him. Whatever. He's the first human to be sacrificed to suck his blood or whatever.
Yeah, but the show.
But then it went straight to the main character after
But to
that.
me, yeah, to me that revealed the rules of the show. Meaning, like, the town drunk, yeah, no one cared about him, but he got killed a scene or two after he received forgiveness from the girl that he put in a wheelchair.
Right.
She forgave him, and upon being forgiven, he was killed.
Kill.
So he was kind of relieved of his pain and suffering through forgiveness, right? He can now move on, no longer live in torment. Then in the same episode, our main character, who is living in torment, cannot forgive himself for the murder of the young girl because of his drunk driving. He then gets attacked by a vampire, which we can assume he's not dying. We assume he's going to become a vampire too, which then to me thematically works with the rules of the show, because he is now will be stuck in torment and agony and guilt for eternity. Like, he cannot die until he forgives himself or has salvation
forgiveness.
or whatever. So it's fitting that now he's a vampire stuck in this his own
Same
sort
thing.
of thing for eternity. Like, symbolically, I'm like, okay, that works. That's why I was pleased it happened to him.
Right.
I'm like, oh, cool. I see what it's like, setting up the rules of the show.
I get it.
And
I
that
was
leads-
I was surprised
No,
at
no,
that.
but
I
you
wasn't-
also don't
I wasn't
expect-
putting that all together.
No, I
at
didn't
the
put that all
time.
together until after, like, watching it. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But then you think about it, like, oh, he can't die, but he can live forever and be
True.
in pain mentally.
True.
So that puts us where do you think it's going in these next 3 episodes?
I think
Like, how's it all in?
that's what I'm thinking of.
I'm just,
I
since
know.
it's an audio podcast, I have to keep talking, so it's not just silence. We're good, yeah.
Yes, we are good.
That-
Oh, we're recording a podcast.
no, no, you're cool,
it's
you're
okay.
cool.
It's fine. It's fine.
I thought you were doing like karaoke.
No, not yet.
We're recording a podcast. Yeah.
We're just chatting, we're cool. That's what we've always wanted to happen, by the
We've
way.
always wanted that to
Is
happen.
someone to come talk to us, say, what are you
Finally,
doing?
Somebody did.
Like 20-something
he
episodes
thought
in,
we were singing karaoke
without music.
without music.
No, he said correct. He said you have headphones in.
Oh.
So anyway,
Anyway.
how do you think it ends?
how it ends, but I think that the old woman she becomes young again. The doctor's mother becomes young again.
Yeah.
I think that the doctor is the save the day person,
Okay.
the lesbian doctor lady. I think that I know you think differently, but I think that the girlfriend also becomes a
Aaron.
vampire.
Okay. So Aaron's vampire. Does the priest live or die?
The priest has to die,
Yep.
for sure. The priest
Okay.
definitely has to die.
So the doctor lady.
Because he's so in pain every time something happens.
Well, he's becoming a vampire.
Yeah.
He can't go in the sunlight anymore.
Right.
No, I'm just
I
saying,
think
yeah.
he dies. Somebody kills him.
All right.
But then there's other vampires on the island.
Okay. And the doctor lady kills the main vampire.
Yes.
Days
That's
over.
my prediction.
And the teacher, Aaron, becomes a vampire too.
Yeah.
All right. What I think will happen is, yes, the priest.
Wait. I forgot a part.
All right.
Wheelchair girl, she's
Yeah.
part of the savior.
All right. Well, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that. She probably has some sort of role of salvation, like saving people. I do think the priest has to die because he's already run his life. He's like cheated death, whatever. I think because it's this type of show, the Riley character, our main character, who's now becoming a vampire too, he saves the day. Like, he's our hero. He does die at the end as well, because by saving everyone, by killing this vampire demon thing, that'll be his. And he probably saves Aaron, the teacher, his potential love interest, or his family or something. Or his brother. That's going to be his sort of salvation. I think it ends with the church going down in flames. He perishes with it. The vampire thing gets killed too. And it ends. I had two ending thoughts. One, it either ends with it like everything burns down, Riley saves the day, but perishes, self-sacrifices himself at the same time. I think the sheriff, who we haven't talked about much,
Oh, we haven't
he probably
talked
plays
about
a
him.
role only because he's this like
He's this outsider.
Muslim outsider.
And he
But-
doesn't go to church. He doesn't
Yeah.
praise.
And we'll probably end up talking about him more in the second episode because
Yeah,
maybe he's
we
the
will.
guy we're forgetting about. But or his son. But I thought the church burns down, the vampire dies, Riley dies, the priest dies, but everybody who lives. I think there's going to be a lot of people who die between now and episode 3.
Definitely.
Because I think the vampire almost like starts to, because he's in kind of like human form,
And
minus
so
the
many
wings.
people trust him.
I think he sort of like starts taking things over somehow. I don't know. The vampire's in, not the priest. The vampire.
Yeah.
It all burns down. So then I think one ending idea is like the last scene, they're like building another church, like building the new church, like rebuilding after it all over. Or I think more fitting is it's the young teacher lady, Erin, after it's all done, taking the ferry boat away from the island. It's just like her on the boat looking into the water. Like
Leaving.
she's done her journey. She went back to the island. Now she's free from the baggage of her previous life that she tried to leave before. And now
Is
she
there
moves
any
on.
way that Riley becomes unvampired?
No, I think he's the tormented soul. He's like the tragically flawed hero. Like he's forever flawed. Like he's doomed from the beginning. I don't think a good life for him exists.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
To wait and see.
That's my thought.
I'm excited about it. We didn't talk about the sheriff.
I think at this point-
he's going to play a major role somehow.
I mean, he has to, in the fact that he's the outsider. This is a movie, obviously, that focuses a lot on Christianity and Catholicism, and he is the outsider.
on the
not
island.
for many reasons, ethnically, culturally, religiously. So he's not maybe blinded by some of the miracles
Yeah.
and the thing. Um, so I think he does play an important role. I just can't quite sure where
he
it
fits
is.
in.
Maybe he's the guy who saves the day.
Or even where the little brother fits in. He's kind of ventured off in the last couple
I think
episodes.
he had more, which I'm glad. Initially, I was worried that is this going to be like a teenager show, meaning like they focus all their time on these teenage kids in high school.
Like a Stranger Things.
And I'm like, I don't want that. And it wasn't that so far.
No, it's not. It's definitely not that.
So,
For sure.
yeah, I'm just thinking about the sheriff. Yeah, I don't know. We'll just have to see where he falls.
We'll have to see. We're going to watch
Because he's also the one he's not taking the communion. He has his own pain about the wife he lost.
He's teaching his son.
So he's looking for this redemption and new beginning as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's at the island.
Yeah. His wife has died. His son is looking for his identity, exploring the religion that all his friends are doing. But he's not part of it, which he has to have some reaction in order to save his son, Yeah. Like, something has to be there.
All right. Well, I think there's only one thing left to do, and that's to watch the last 3 episodes and then come into a
We
part
gotta
2.
do that tonight.
I'm ready.
Well, not all 3 tonight.
I think we can do it. Night's
I don't
young.
think we can.
It's only like 9:45 now.
I know, I'm tired. But I think we definitely get one in tonight.
Well, we're going to get them done soon because we're going to release both these close to each other. So we're going to finish episodes 5, 6, and 7. And then probably in the next day or two, when this goes live, there'll be part 2 posted
We'll do it.
as well. Because we just didn't want to do one whole episode about all of them, just split it between the 2.
Yeah, I agree.
And then we'll go back to good old movies.
Good old movies.
Yeah.
We have a couple backlog that we want to
We
watch.
have a couple saved episodes that we haven't put out there yet of some movies.
And I'm excited to watch.
We have a movie scheduled to see this weekend
Tomorrow
as well
night.
that we'll podcast about.
That's going to be fun.
And
I'm excited about it.
yeah, new release in the theater.
Yeah, we're excited. Greenlight Cinema again, guys.
It's going to be great. My Coca-Cola's empty. Your glass. I don't think we can cheers yet because we're not at the end of the episodes.
Oh,
The end of the show.
we won't cheers yet.
All right, but we'll pause this. We'll let the music play us out, and then everybody else watch Midnight Mass on Netflix, and we'll be back for more movie watching.
Yeah.
All right,
See you
bye.
next time. Bye.
Bye.